talk about Bill Cosby being sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison for sexual assault against Andrea Constand. This incident happened in 2004. There was a civil suit back then. I think it was settled out of court, but a civil suit does not necessarily prevent you from going into a criminal case, because those two things aren't the same. If you get found guilty in the criminal case, you can't get tried again for that. That's called double jeopardy. But I digress. The whole point here is that Bill Cosby's going to jail. He's going to prison, actually. No bail has been set. He has to go straight to custody. Now, I'm not really sure if he has any time to appeal this, or if he has to go right to jail, or if he can appeal it while he's in jail. But that is the sentence that's been handed down. Now, there's been a lot of reaction to this. I did a live stream on my man O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel, which I'll put in the description box below. It was pretty long, about 2.5 hours. I'll give you the condensed version right here. People were talking about, well, this is the white man trying to get back at Bill. He was trying to buy NBC, and this is racist. This is a high-tech lynching. The only reason why Bill Cosby, yes, Bill Cosby, the only reason why Bill Cosby was even out in the streets to begin with is because of the white man and his graciousness. All right. It was the white man's money that allowed him to be out. If it was not for all that money he was getting from the Cosby Show checks, the different world checks, movies like Ghost Dad, which all come from the white man, he'd have been locked up a long time ago. This man is a serial rapist. If you look at all the evidence that's been presented, it's a mountain of evidence that's been presented in this particular case. Now, some may say, well, it's not physical evidence, ain't no rape kit, whatever. Look, if this amount of evidence was presented to lock anybody else up, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, they'd be locked up. All right. You got all these women that have come out, and they've been coming out for years. That's another thing people are talking about. They said the women are only coming out right now since it has become popular, since we're in the Me Too era. That is not true. These women have been coming out for years and years and years. I remember hearing about Bill Cosby back in the 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s, during the Cosby Show. This is not a new thing. I remember being in school hearing about it. We made jokes about the pudding pops and stuff like that, which is why Hannibal Buress, a black man, did that comedy routine in Philadelphia, which got recorded and went viral a few years ago, and where he spoke about the Cosby rape allegations. It's because he knew about it. D.L. Hughley, a stomp down liberal, somebody who's going to be, on Black and Unproud, all this, that, and the third, somebody, a fellow comedian, a person that would really defend Bill Cosby in this situation, came out and said that he believes that he did it because there was an interview that he did with Bill Cosby on the phone when he was on Kiss FM. I believe it was in New York or somewhere else. Bill Cosby got into an argument with DL. DL didn't really want to come on the interview. He was kind of in the back, but he stepped in when the interview wasn't really going in the right direction because Bill Cosby had an attitude. As soon as DL comes on the line, Bill Cosby goes off. They go back and forth. Bill Cosby did not like DL because he uses the N-word in his comedy routine, but DL responded, well, yeah, I use the N-word, but at least when I say it, no women wake up with their panties on backwards and drugged. All right. That interview is not seen the light of day. Why? It's because Bill Cosby got on the phone with the white man upstairs at Kiss FM. 5 minutes later, they come down, take the tape and said, hey, if this ever airs, you're never working radio again. And of course, we have not seen that interview. Bill Cosby also did not like most black comedians. He wanted to get rid of Def Comedy Jam, which was a mostly or all black comedy show that highlighted a lot of great artists. I think Dave Chappelle was on there. Martin Lawrence got his big break on there. A lot of other guys, black comedians, came from that whole thing. He did not like comedians that use vulgarity, your Eddie Murphys, your Bernie Macs, your Steve Harveys, your D.L. Hughley's. He did not like them. So when his lawyer comes out talking about this is a racist thing, it's the white man trying to put his foot on Bill Cosby's neck, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Bill Cosby did not really like black comedians, and he was funded by white people, which is the reason why he did not go to jail up until recently. Now, I will say it's sad that the man's 81 years old. He's going to jail. But hey, do the crime, you do the time. It is what it is. And it wasn't just white women that he is accused of assaulting, raping, or whatever, drugging, really. You also had black women. Beverly Johnson, a world-renowned supermodel, the first black woman on the cover of French Elle back in the 1970s. This is somebody that is a famous person who had more to lose by coming out than she had to gain, because she's still in the Hollywood world in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. So she came out. A lot of others have come out, and Andrea Constand, the most recent woman, alleged that an incident happened in 2004. She is not even heterosexual. She is a lesbian, all right, and not in Hollywood at all. Just happened to work at Temple University, where Bill Cosby was at for whatever reason, all right? So I'm not trying to hear all this stuff about it's the white man trying to get back at Bill. It's the white man trying to prevent him from buying NBC. Look, if you have a company or a property or something that you own, if it's a sole proprietorship, you don't have to sell it if you don't want to. Furthermore, if it is a shareholder situation, which I'm pretty sure that NBC is and was back then, they don't have to sell to you. I mean, what are you really going to do? Come in with, a hostile takeover? Now, if you're going to do that, you can't do that by yourself, Bill Cosby. You got to have a conglomerate of people on your side that are co-investors that are going to be able to do it with you. So at that point, it's not even really about you. And why would they be against you specifically in that particular case and not the whole team of people if they were experiencing a hostile takeover? It does not make any sense. At the end of the day, as I close, I'm going to say that Bill Cosby is not the same person as Heathcliff Huxtable that you saw on television. America's Dad, we all love that show. I still love the Cosby Show. It was a great, fantastic representation of what a family could be, black, white, or otherwise. A wholesome family. They enjoyed each other's company. They had good kids, good parents. It was a good TV show, but you got to separate the art from the artist. Just because this TV show was great and the patriarch of the television show was great does not mean that this person you saw on television is the same person that you would see in real life. Once you leave the studios, once you get from behind those cameras, once the lights are off, once the makeup is off, once the wardrobe is off, you are not that same person. It is pretty simple and easy to understand, but not everybody sees things that way. So what do you think? Do you think Bill Cosby is guilty as charged? Do you think there's going to be an appeal? I'm pretty sure there will be an appeal, but I'm not really sure how the process is going to go. It's sad, 81 years old. This is somebody that has been seen as America's dad and has done a lot of good for people. I don't want to leave that out. Bill Cosby is a philanthropist. He's given a lot of people money. He's contributed to education. He's contributed to American society in a very positive way. However, just because he has done all those things does not mean that he is capable of being a monster. Aside from that, it's always, well, I'm not going to say always, a lot of times you'll see some of the best people you can imagine, priests, football coaches, all these people that are engaged in what you would consider a double life. They help a lot of people in their private time. I mean, look at like Eddie Long. This was a guy that was supposed to be helping a bunch of boys in the ministry. He was a preacher, bishop, whatever, a person people looked up to as a mentor, as somebody that is next best thing to Jesus on earth. That's how they viewed him. I'm not saying it's a good thing for them to view him that way, but that's just what it was. However, he was raping the boys in the church. All right. People didn't want to believe it. How is this possible? How is it possible that our bishop, our pastor, our leader could do such a thing? Just because you admire somebody and you do not think that they would do a thing does not mean that you're correct. All that it means is you've gotten your emotions wrapped up in this individual. People are falling in love with the idea of a Heathcliff Huxtable, but they don't know Bill Cosby for real. It's unfortunate, but through the 10 years, I think that's appropriate for what he did at 81 years old. He may not survive the actual prison sentence. In this case, he could have gotten probation, but the judge in the case said that he is going to get prison time. Maybe on an appeal, this will be overturned or the sentence could be lowered. But I think it sends a message to people that you can't just do whatever you want to do, celebrity or no celebrity. The whole black thing is irrelevant. Harvey Weinstein is going to face the same fate. He's already been arrested. He already has a court date, all that kind of good stuff. So you'll see him go through trial, and I anticipate a similar result to what happened right now to Bill Cosby. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below.